everybody. Welcome to Happy Hour with Bougie and Mark. Before we get started, it would be amazing if you guys could like the video and give it a thumbs up because it really helps. And I need subscribers like you would not believe. So also please subscribe. And yeah, thank you so much in advance. Hi, everybody. Welcome to, what are we calling? Yeah.
It's been a while.
I know. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Happy Hour. I'm Bougie.
And I'm Mark. We're back.
Yay. It's been a while because Mark took a vacation. Also, my name is not Bougie. It's Bethany. So like
my middle name, it's Bethany Bougie.
It's Bethany Bougie Welsh. Yeah. So anyway, it's definitely been a while. Mark took a pretty cool detour. And actually, I want to get into two things about that. But why don't you tell us where you were? And yeah, let's start there.
Yeah. So we rented a little cottage. Michigan is the shape of a mitten surrounded by water. So we have lots of options. Mm-hmm. So when all this was going down, we were supposed to go to a place in northern Michigan that we go every year for 4th of July. And it was going to they have this big parade and stuff. And my buddy Ryan, who was on the podcast with us or on the recording with us, his parents are up there. That's where I met him. So he would have been up there and stuff. So we were going to do all that. And then with all this going on, we're like, maybe we don't want to be staying in a hotel with all these people and stuff. So I just went scrambled, looked for a beach house, anywhere. I just opened up Airbnb and said okay, I'm just gonna do the map view and anything that's over in this area.
I can't believe you found anything. When was this?
Oh, this was when did we decide to do? I think I booked it May, maybe late April, early May, something like that. Okay. Because this was the week we were supposed to be going to Hawaii for. The week we ended up booking it for was the week we were supposed to go to Hawaii for our anniversary. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, let's do something, and my family was thinking about coming up at that time anyways, because, my mom was supposed to watch the kids and stuff. So I'm like, let's do a big thing or whatever. So I just looked for random stuff and this popped up and it was the coolest little cottage, vaulted ceilings, wood paneling, a loft overlooking the living room and stuff. So I'm like, all right, let's book it. An area we've never been to before. That's cool. Yeah, and the cool thing about this community is every street has a lake access at the end of it, and there's a beach that's only for people that live in the community. And we were there for 3 days, and in the 3 days, we didn't see one other person on the beach with us.
Really? The whole time?
Yeah, we had 2 people walk by one day there because you can walk there's these breakers. So the beach is probably each area is 20 yards wide, and there's these break walls, but you can easily walk over them. You just step over the break wall and keep walking. So we had people walking from one access down to our access, just looking for shells or whatever. But that's the only people we saw.
Wow, that's amazing.
So, yeah. So my sister ended up coming up for a couple of the nights and rented a different cottage, but she would just come. They would come over every day and hang out with us. So it was really relaxing. And then that kind of fell into a trap that we wanted to have that feeling. So, so we put in an offer on a cottage while we were there.
So let's just get this straight. So you went on how many days was it, by the way?
It was 3 nights.
Okay, so you took a little detour for 3 nights.
Yep.
And then decided to put an offer in on a house in the area.
While we were there, yeah.
That's amazing.
In an area that we've only been to once. This was the first time we've ever been there. So, I mean, that area that I was talking about where we always would go to the hotel and stuff, we've been looking up there for years.
Okay.
And it's been half on, half off serious, we're hey, we should move because our house is probably is too small for our family.
Okay.
Especially with me, mainly because I'm working from home, so I'm taking up one of the bedrooms for an office. So, that kind of it's just not good. So we've been hey, should we just do an addition to this house or should we move? We're kind of far away from the kids' school, so we've been kicking back and forth. If we did an addition, then we could do the cottage, but if we move, then we won't have any money. So we just kind of fell in love with it, and it just kind of pushed us to make that decision. And so now we're going to be staying in our house if it goes through. Because, of course, my luck, and it's 2020.
What were the issues with it? Weren't there some issues?
Yeah, so we did the inspection last week, and it went about as bad as you could possibly have an inspection go.
Okay,
well. I told the inspector, I was like, dude, you did a really great job. You're super detailed. Huge report. I was like, the only thing you're missing was mold. He's like, I could probably go find you some if you want.
That's what I was thinking. Are you sure?
You definitely, every house has a little bit of mold somewhere.
Yeah, I would assume that. Yeah. So what's the next step of the process?
So we sent them the report and said, hey, you know, there's some things that we're just not willing to.
Yeah.
One, I don't think we could get a loan if foundation issues come up when the guy goes to appraise it. So
yeah, and you have to do a higher cash down because it's not your first home.
Yeah. So we're like, we don't really want to, you know, mess with some of the stuff. So we're still waiting to hear back from the sellers what they're willing to do. Could be dead in the water if they're not willing to budge. But I feel like they're going to have to do something. Otherwise, they're never going to sell it.
Yeah, anybody is going to get an inspection.
Yeah, unless they come in all cash and
Yeah.
just like low it with cash. But it's the same as just paying us for it or whatever. So,
Right. But then it's like a knockdown probably too.
yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I have no clue. I mean, whenever you hear the word foundation, it's always expensive. So it's all a question of how expensive. It's a small house, so it can't be terrible, but
Right.
it could be enough. I mean, we're dealing with a small amount of money to purchase the house. So when you're talking, you know, like a $10,000 problem or whatever it is, that's way different than when you're buying like a $250,000, $350,000 house. So
Right.
we're getting into so much real estate stuff.
I know.
You have a real estate background, getting all nerdy.
Yeah. And yeah, we just refinanced, which actually I'm sure everybody is doing right now. So everyone's probably like thinking about things like this.
I feel like everybody I know has been like, oh, I just refinanced like 2.9% or whatever.
Wait, so the coolest thing about refinancing so this was my first time doing it. I had no idea, but apparently it's like a well-known thing, is that you shouldn't pay your mortgage that month if you're gonna. I had no idea. We could have not paid our mortgage for 2 whole months.
Yeah, because there's like a lap where it gets paid off and then the new one kicks in. Usually it's like one month of no payments. Usually is how it works.
The guy told us that because every mortgage apparently, like according to like federal law, I think. I have no idea if that's accurate. It could be, but I know that there's some law that gives you like a 2-week grace period. And so what a lot of people do is they let the due date come and go, and just as long as their new loan gets funded within 2 weeks, they get 2 full payments. And
I've never done that. I've never done that because like if you do make that payment, it just affects your payoff. So you get that money back anyway. So it's not a huge deal, but it is nice to skip that one payment. Yeah.
Okay.
It's nice to skip that one payment though, which ends up helping offset some of the costs for the refinance.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And then we got a player who's giving me dirty looks for talking about money.
Hi, Mr. Wall.
He walked out. Because I texted him like while you were talking, like the dog is trying to crap in here. Please come get him.
Spencer.
No, it was Lucky.
Oh.
Spencer would never do that. He's way too
what's the new one? Tiger?
Tiger was, yeah. Oh my God, Spencer would never. Spencer would like die before he did that. Lucky is like, if you don't like carry me down the stairs, this is gonna happen.
Do they make doggy diapers? Do they make those? Is that a thing?
They do, but I'm sure like he only does it 2 times. One when we're not like watching and he doesn't want to go outside. So like in the middle of the night, or if it's raining, of course, because he doesn't want to go out in the rain. And then 2 is in situations like that where he doesn't get what he wants, so he starts circling. And
like, hey, this is your warning.
It's like a 5, like it's a fair 5-minute warning. And you know, luckily he came up before he did. Yeah, and then the other cool thing was we also got a check from the old mortgage one for all of the extra that we paid into escrow.
Yeah,
so
that's always nice too.
Yeah, that was super fun. I had no idea that was like a thing.
And then when they refinance, they almost always overestimate your escrow. So they take all this money up front, put a big chunk into it, and then you're paying into it on top of that.
Yep.
So usually, like when your escrow comes up next year, you'll get another check for several $100s off of that. So it's
that's exciting. Yeah, we've only been owners for a few years.
I know, but the funny thing is, like these rare times that it happens, I go to the mailbox every day expecting to find like $500 check in there, just because like it happens like once or twice a year. Like this year was like our car insurance like did hey, for COVID, since nobody's driving, we're gonna give you like $200 back or whatever. But they messed up and like they gave me like my whole payment back. So I got like a $500 check and I'm like, I don't know what this is for, but I'm really excited about it.
Hopefully it's not like when Citi sent me the refund and then charged me.
Oh, they did. They were like, we made an error on that. You're only supposed to get 200 instead of the 5 or whatever. So we're just going to roll that into all your payments. So all our payments went up like $50 for the next year.
All right.
Yeah. So it worked out. I mean, it was free credit card spend basically. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love when that happens. When like, or once in a while when somebody says like, do you want a refund in cash or the original payment? I'm like,
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute.
I think there's like certain stores that people do that. Like they'll go into Costco or something and they'll give it to you. Or like they're like, hey, swipe your Amex card, and they just swipe a different Amex card.
I accidentally did that once, and then when it worked, I was like, wait a minute, this could be like a thing. And then a lot of people said, don't like go down that road because you can get shut down really easily.
Yeah.
So I never
You could do it like, I mean, if you're going for like a sign up bonus, go buy like a $2,000 Mac on like your Chase card. And then when you go back in, like refund it to your Bank of America card or something.
Yeah, that's crazy that like happens. So yeah, obviously people don't abuse it. I think
and it's got to be certain stores because a lot of stores just automatically have it apply. So it's only certain stores that tell you to swipe, which is stupid. I don't know why they even have it set up that way, but
yep. The worst is when you go to a store to do a return, and this is like especially for people like us, and they say like, "Can you swipe the card that you paid with?" And you're like I have any idea what card that was.
I hate when I cancel airline flights and I'm like, okay, your fees will go back to card ending 6276, and I'm like, what card is that?
I know. You're like, oops, I canceled it.
I should be like PDX Deals guy. He has like every single card on a spreadsheet, so he can just be like, and Google, like search it on his sheets, and I'm like, oh man.
But does he also put his payments on there?
I don't know if he puts his payments, but I think he tracks, like he'll put like the card, maybe the last 4 digits or the full number, like the sign up date and then the date he closes. I do like the card name, date open, date close, but I've never put like numbers. And now I'm like, it's way too much work to go back and add that.
Yeah. At this point, you just can't. I've started at least writing down like when my annual fees are due this year. I'm like, I don't know, maybe like 15 cards deep. I still probably have like 60% of the way to go. But maybe it'll save me some money this year, I hope. I always try.
As I just upgraded gold to platinum card when I said I was done with platinum.
I mean, totally special circumstances, though. It's like there was not a chance in hell that I was keeping that Aspire card.
Yeah.
And then, like, that happened. Oh, which, by the way, my renewal date was June 12th. They charged me on June 12th. I made like $250 worth of restaurant and takeout purchases, and I still have not gotten the credit. But the first ones came the day after each charge.
Yeah.
So I think they're like playing games, but maybe for those, they just wait until the end of, actually, I don't even know. Cause like, what would be the point of them waiting at this point now that I already paid it?
If you downgraded, you could downgrade and get the annual fee back, and then they would have given you the 250 or.
I'm doing that anyway, because they only have up to 12 weeks to give it back. Right.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just trying to get that 3 months of annual fee.
I guess. I don't know.
It's super annoying. I'm like, the other ones went in one day. And like, why is this taking now? How many weeks is it? It's almost like it's 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 7 weeks. I can't count.
I'm upset. My Chase Hyatt free night hasn't posted, and I got billed the annual fee on June 1st.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why.
Yeah, I know. Like the last year, it took like 6-7 weeks. Basically, they wanted to make sure that you paid the annual fee and you couldn't close it. Like in the past, they would post it right away, and people would be like, "Oh, I'm going to close this card and get this free night."
Yep.
So I was fine with taking time because I wanted to do the $15K and spend, and then I was going to close the card and then reopen it again to get a bonus.
Yeah.
But now with this Chase Freedom offer, I want to get the Freedom card, but I need to close the unlimited, the 5 times at restaurant or groceries. So I want to get that offer, but I already have 6 personal cards, or my wife does. My wife does.
Right.
So I gotta close one to even have a shot to get approved. So I want to close this Hyatt card, but I already paid the annual fees, so I want that free night to post before I close it.
Of course.
So
wait, when does Chase have a personal card limit?
They don't. I think you're just like less likely. Like I know I'm at like their cap of credit limit, and then they'll be like, "Oh, and you have too many cards." So I just want to make it easy, and I was gonna close it anyway. So, but I want that free night, man. I paid for it.
Yeah, that's totally legitimate. I mean, especially because they used to. Well, now I'm thinking maybe there's an issue. Because have you heard of anybody else having that problem? I
mean, it took like 6 weeks last time, but it's been over 2 months, so it's longer this time.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like right to me.
Like, I sent them a message. I sent them a message, and I think they responded, but I haven't read it yet, so we'll see.
Okay, so I have a big issue. Go ahead. No, you go first.
I was gonna say one thing I found interesting. I went to Chase Secure Message or whatever.
Yeah.
And like almost every option I went to, there was no option to send a message. So I don't know if they're trying to stop people from sending messages. So I had to just go like account inquiry to be able to send them a message.
Yeah.
Like rewards issues was not like in the past. I've been able to send a message, but now it's only like one thing that they allow messages on, which I found weird because why would they want people calling in instead of sending a message? But whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Although I wonder if it's because they've had like so many inquiries about like credit limits and things like that that they're not going to change anyway. So they're like,
let's try to get people like people are like, oh, I'm so lazy, I'm not going to do what they want.
It works a lot, doesn't it? I mean, like I've had this payment that I have to pay every single month. It's like $6. It's some identity thing that I probably signed up for through Swagbucks, then didn't write it down, so I forgot about it, right? So I've been paying it every single month. And I keep sending them emails, stop charging me, I don't want this. And they say, you can't cancel online, you have to call. And every time I'm like about to make the phone call, I'm like, talk to somebody or pay $6. Like, okay, I'll wait till next month.
Yeah. You gotta think of it in long term. Like, oh, a year from now, that'll be like $72. Maybe it's worth $72.
Absolutely. But in that one moment when I have to make the phone call, it's not worth $6. I'm not in the mood. You know, like, so that's what they're hoping for.
It's like those Columbia House CD clubs or whatever that they made it super difficult. Like, you have to mail this back in if you don't want the CD. It's like, I mean, I guess that group's okay. So I'll pay the $17 where you get it at Best Buy for $12, but okay.
Yeah, and it's not like I can like log in because so my reason for not logging in is because it's like identity monitoring. So I don't want to give them all of my information when I don't even know what company it is. You know what I mean? So I still haven't even set the account up yet, so I have no idea what card it is. Especially if it's like LifeLock where the CEO got hacked like 12 times. Yeah, like give me a break. I mean, I had LifeLock forever just because of like all those offers that come up. And also I don't hate the idea of having that like insurance, even though I'm sure it probably doesn't do crap. For people like us who have so many cards, it's not like the worst thing to have like a little extra coverage.
Yeah. If they have like that where they'll pay for the attorneys to get your stuff straightened out or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great benefit.
I can't believe LifeLock's still in business though. It's like, because you remember that commercial where he's like, here's my social security number. That's how much I trust our service. And he got hacked like all over the place.
Yeah, what a stupid thing to do. Although one time they actually did catch something that I'm pretty sure was going to end up being an issue. In Costa Rica, I like used my card at a kind of like shady restaurant. Although what's not shady in Costa Rica?
Was this before or after the spa walk-in?
Oh, you know, I didn't even think of that. That was before. That was some trip, huh? Oh, we haven't actually told that story on the video.
You haven't?
No, because the last time I forgot to press record.
All right, well, now's the time.
So yes, life did work for me once. And let me tell you why Costa Rica is the world's worst country for Bethany. First, I went with my cousin. We look very similar. You guys met her though, right?
I don't think I didn't meet her. I never met her when she came to Vegas.
Oh, Sean met her.
I didn't go to that. I showed up after the podcast meetup thing or whatever. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. So she's like this beautiful girl, you know, just like me. And I've even joked that like maybe she's slightly prettier, but I don't think it's really true. But anyway, so we went ziplining, and they have the world's tallest zip line in Costa Rica. And I speak like a little bit of Spanish. Like I don't speak it, but I understand it because I took Spanish for 8 years. So I should probably like at least be able to understand like some things, you know, just a few.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. So we were going down one of them, and I heard the guy ask the other guy, like, how come you're using both lines instead of the same one? And he said, because Bethany is gordo. For anybody who doesn't speak Spanish, gordo means fat. And I looked at the guy and I was like, I understood that. Like, that guy just called me fat. So that was during the day. Then the next morning, of course, I go out for a run, right? Because that's like the first thing I'm doing in the morning now. I go for like a 2-hour run around the thing, and then I end up in the women's spa. And I go in the spa, and like I have no shame. I mean, I guess apparently up until this point. So I'm in the steam room, and I'm like totally naked, just like laying there, like chilling by myself in the women's locker room. Now, the really interesting thing about this is when you get up to the spa, there's a men's like locker room and a women's locker room, but they're like totally different buildings. So Like,
and this is the Hyatt, right?
yeah, this is Andaz.
Yeah.
Andaz, Costa Rica. Is that what it's called? Hyatt Andaz, Costa Rica.
Yeah.
It's like a favorite.
Andaz Papagayo or whatever.
Papagayo. Yes, thank you. Yeah, people love it. It's a kind of.
They used to love it when it was 15K. Now it's like 25K.
Yeah, it's also like there's not. I don't know. I didn't like.
There's not much to do, right?
Yeah, like we had to go an hour and 15 minutes to get to the Zipline park, and to be honest, it was like just like scorched earth because they had like droughts, so it wasn't even like green. You know.
Yeah.
We wanted to see the ones with the animals, but so anyway, so I'm laying in this steam room, and all of a sudden the door opens, and I look over and I realize it's a man. And I'm like, oh no. And I'm thinking like, all right, he'll go away in a second. Like, still, I don't care. You know, it's not like I have no shame. So I'm like waiting. And then all of a sudden, like, he's just standing there staring at me. And now I'm starting to like go into like fight or flight. Like, am I going to have to like fight this dude like naked, or like, is he going to like walk out? So still I'm like frozen, and I'm just trying to think of like, right, how much longer am I going to wait until I do something, you know?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, thank God, he closes the door and turns around, and I hear him say, I think there's a man in there. Like, first of all,
I think there's a Gordo man in there.
Yeah, like I am completely naked, and he stood there and stared at me for like a good 8 seconds. Like, now I'm offended. So,
If there was a man in there, like, that's where you're supposed to be.
well, that's my thing, right? So like, okay, so like, let's say he wasn't a creep. Well, then why do you think it was strange that there was a man in there? Also, has he ever seen a man and a woman? Like, I could not be more feminine in my like everything. That it was just like, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. So I just can't. Like, Costa Rica.
Did you say like it was like kind of confusing though? Like the doors, like you could see where somebody would mess up and go into the wrong one.
Yes. So they have like these little diagrams instead of like men, women, or it's not even like a clear like dress. It's like a weird little nothing. So,
just a stick person. Like, here's a stick.
Not even. It's like a circular thing. I wish somebody had a picture of it. It basically looks like a really like fat like sumo wrestler.
Okay.
And I honestly, like, looking at both of them, would have been confused as well.
Maybe you were in the Maybe you were in the men's one.
No. Because when I came out, there were many more women in there. But yeah, that's what happened. And the woman told me that was not the first time that had happened. And that's when I kind of like went off, because I was like, okay, I don't care, you know, because like whatever. But what, like, okay, first of all, what if there was a woman in there whose like religion doesn't allow her to be seen by men other than her husband? Like, that could be like catastrophic and like traumatic, you know?
Yeah.
Or like, what if it was like a 14-year-old girl in there? Like, that's when I was like, no, you know what?
They'd probably be wearing a towel, but yeah.
Well, right. Yeah. That's a good point. I guess modesty is lost on me, but yeah. Or maybe there's like some cultures that, like, you know how like Europeans are always way more naked than Americans.
Yeah.
So maybe they would be in that. I don't know. It's just like, you know, like the fact that it could happen to somebody who might actually be emotionally scarred by it bothered me, and that's when I kind of like went off on them.
Were you more emotionally scarred by the Gordo comment, or by the dude looking at you naked and then calling you a man?
Gordo for sure. Yeah.
We need those lines.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know for a fact that if he had actually seen me, he would not have thought that. So I don't know. And then of course his wife walks in like 10 minutes later and says like, "Oh, my husband thought there was a man in here." I couldn't even like
address
it up to be nice to her. I wanted to punch her in the face.
What was he like checking it out for her? Like, I sent my husband in to make sure that it was good, and he said there, "I think there's a man in here."
Maybe, or maybe he was trying to cover up like why he was standing there so long. That's in my brain. That's what I'm gonna go with.
That's good. Oh, so funny.
But yeah, the fat one. Oh yeah, I came back and I was like, I'm running every day. Like, and Alyssa's not like skinny, you know, so like I don't know why they called me fat. But yeah, so long story short, even though there are monkeys in Costa Rica, it's not my favorite place to go, and I probably will not be going back.
Good to know.
I feel like that's fair.
Yeah. It's funny how like experiences can completely change like a whole trip or a location for you. Like, you know, I hear people that go to the Bahamas and like hate how the hecklers heckle them and stuff, and they're like, people are rude or whatever. And I'm like, I've never had anything but really nice people. So
Me too.
it's all like, just depends on. I mean, I hopped in a random dude's car once in Bahamas.
Of course you did. Of course you did. Please tell us the story.
It's happened twice actually.
Oh my God.
So the first time
I need to go to South Africa with this guy. Like, all getting killed.
I can't remember if it was our honeymoon or like we went there for our honeymoon, but then we went back like the year after, and we actually went to it was the Radisson All Inclusive, which now is like the Melia, which is right next to so it's like the same building and everything, but it used to be Radisson. So we were like downtown or whatever, and downtown just shuts down at like 10 p.m. or whatever it is. Like you think it'd be open late, but it's not. And we're like, oh man, like where are we supposed to go now? Like how do we get back to Cable Beach? Because the jitneys aren't running anymore or whatever. And there's just this dude in like a red neon. If you guys remember the Dodge neons back in the day. And he's like, hey, where you going? I'll take you or whatever. And we're like, okay. So he's like, he takes us down these weird back roads, and like the main strip, you know, goes along the water or whatever out to Cable Beach. He's cutting through land. He's like, oh, there's bad traffic out there. We're going. I'm like, Kirsten's looking at me like, we're gonna get killed. Like, what's happening here?
Oh my God.
He took us there and it was fine. And then the other time was we were staying at Hilton downtown. This just happened a couple years ago. We're staying at the Hilton downtown and we wanted to ride the ferry across to go to the Atlantis and stuff. You know, the ferry boat that goes to there's a ferry
thing.
Yeah, there's like a ferry boat that goes from Paradise Island over to Atlantis. So we wanted to ride it just because I'm always, if it's a boat, I'm good to go. I like it. So, so we go walk down there and there's a guy sitting on the corner next to his car. He's like, it's closed down. We're like, okay, thanks. We're just thinking he's trying to sell us on like driving us over there. Okay, thanks. So we walk down there. Of course, it was legit closed down.
They are very nice Bahamians.
Oh yeah, they're super nice. So it was legit closed. We walk back up the hill with our tail between our legs. We're like, all right, man, like we're ready to go.
Like, oh, we just want to look at the rocks.
So yeah, he was the one that got us into the fish fry, which I know you didn't like, but you didn't go to the place we were supposed to go to. He's like, go to Goldie's. Food's amazing. Like if I eat there, I have to go to bed after because the portions are like massive, like huge amounts of food. And it's a fun time and everything. So we ended up going there because of that. So both experiences worked out well. Not the smartest traveling, but
it's efficient.
Yeah. So it was a good time.
Yeah.
But.
So the fish fry is definitely a place to check out. There was a popular blogger once that said it wasn't safe, right? Or
well, didn't want to go in the evening with their kids. I could kind of see that. Yeah.
Children there. You can actually see that in the Bahamas. I mean, come on.
I mean, at night, because if you're walking to it, because we've actually walked to it from like the Hilton downtown.
Okay, well, I wouldn't do that along the highway.
Well, no, because you're walking by a park where like drugs are sold and stuff, like in the park next to the fish. So I could see it. It's like whatever. But like my wife and her friend went there at night, and there's a guy. I don't know if you saw him when you were there. He stands out front and he's got like a big hat on, like an older guy, and he was always like, "Hey, how's it going?" He talks to you, and then he wants to take you to a restaurant because he gets paid. Mm-hmm. So we're like, "Oh, we want to go to Goldie's, man. We're cool." He's like, okay, that's where I was going to take you anyways. Is it cool if I walk with you or whatever? And we're like, yeah, okay. So he walks in. He's like, hey, man, I brought these guys. I'm like, I don't care if you get paid. So anyway, like my wife and her friend saw them. And he's like, hey, it's night out. Where you staying? And, you know, they said we're downtown. He's like, I'll walk back with you. So he walked them into the thing. He's like, when you're ready to leave, just let me know. And he walked them back to the hotel.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, super cool. So they gave him like food. They bought him food and stuff. And but it was super cool. He's like, yeah, you want to, at night, you don't want to be walking past this. But
yeah. Yeah, I love Bahamians. Like, I feel like I've always had good experiences. Although I do have to say, so we were in the restaurant at the Fish Fry, and I had to go to the bathroom, and they told us that their bathroom was broken. So she was like, if you just walk like across the parking lot, you'll see there's a public bathroom there. So I was like, oh, okay, no problem. So I go out by myself, and I'm walking across the parking lot, and I'm realizing that like it's a really big parking lot, and then it's just like a dirt, like nothing.
Yeah.
And there's like nobody
it's kind of like a U. It's like a U.
Yeah.
All the restaurants are in like a U.
Yeah.
And then the center is
like here it is just like off to nowhere. There's like bad lighting. I'm like, I'm about to get killed. Like this is where it ends.
It's like the bathroom. Have you ever watched the movie Candyman?
No. That's
it's like the bathroom.
Like whatever it is, it was a horror movie.
Yeah. I mean, Goldie's is really cool. And then we met like the owner's brother. He's like he manages or wherever he was in the bar. He's like, yeah, I go to America all the time. I love Detroit and stuff. And I was like, oh, you're my best friend. And they have this drink there called Call a Cab. And it's like a green, it's kind of like a liquid marijuana, if you've ever had that, or some people call it liquid cocaine. It's a really fruity drink. It goes down smooth, but it has like 7 different kinds of alcohol in it.
Okay.
So it's similar to
waiting to happen.
Yeah, it's similar to that. He's like, we'll call a cab because if you have 2, you need to call a cab to leave.
Got it. But you kind of have to call a cab anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Or just hop off a jitney. That's what we're like, ding, 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 let us out right here.
I've never taken the jitney in Bahamas.
Oh, it's good. It's like $2 or whatever. We went to the poop deck once, which
that's where we went, by the way. Poop deck.
Yeah, poop deck is, well, that's different. That's not in the fish fry. That's like a whole different thing. There's 2 of them.
Oh, actually, no, I did go there. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so there's one like on Paradise Island, and then there's one just like on the main area. And we went to the one on the main area, and I don't know why so many people go there. Like you'll see like Bill Clinton's picture up there, like Michael Jordan's picture up there, and I'm like, this place kind of sucks.
So the owner is like definitely an American, and I'm guessing he's probably like a rich American, so that might be why.
Yeah. So anyways, we eat there, we take a cab there, and then when you get out, there was like no cab to get back. So we're like, all right, where's like the nearest jitney? So we just walk into like where people live, like 4 blocks up. And they're all staring at us like we're crazy. Like, what are you doing here? And we get on, the bus is packed, and the bus driver's like, where are you trying to go? I'm like, we're just trying to get back downtown. He's like, you want to get off the bus on the next stop, walk like 3 blocks over there and get on that bus. He's like, you don't want to be on this bus. I was like, okay.
Okay, so that was a good
Yeah, but it's just funny because like I could tell like no tourists ever ride this route or whatever. We definitely got on the wrong bus, but we're like, whatever, like we're here to wherever we go, we go.
Well, you know, as soon as everyone starts looking at you, and then like a good Samaritan like wants to come help you, it's like, oh, you know what, we should probably get off here. So one time I fell asleep on the subway, and I woke up at the last stop, like way into, I think it was Brooklyn. I think it was the R. And a cop got on. He goes, you fall asleep? I was like, yep. He's like, I'll ride it back with you. I was like, thank you so much. So he rode back like a few stops and then got off like, you know, in like a normal area.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's how you know. So don't fall asleep on the subway or on
It is crazy. Like some subway stops you get off in New York and you're like, should I get back on the train? What should I do here?
You know what one of the worst is, and it's like in between one of the nicest areas. If you get off on 28th and I think it's like the NR stop, it's 28th and 6th.
Okay.
And like you are transported to a different world.
Really?
Oh,
it's not like it's not that far from like what, Koreatown and stuff like that, like Midtown.
It might be like, no, it's not Garment District. It's right next to like Flatiron, so it's right above it.
Yeah.
And it's like right next to Chelsea, so it's
It's just like this weird pocket of nothingness.
It's just one block where like everybody's a drug dealer, and there's people peeing, and like there's 100 wig stores, and that's it. And it's
the last untouched spot of Manhattan.
Yeah. But there's like no strip clubs or anything. Usually you see that like in the one strip club that exists, you know, like you'll see like some like shady stuff. No, I don't know. And of course my boss at the time was like so cheap. That's where our office space ended up. But it was also like right above the subway. So I was like, whatever. Except that I did get peed on once. True story. I've gotten peed on and it was not for fun.
No golden showers wanted here.
I was like, that was a freebie. It was a little kid peeing.
Oh.
Like,
at least it was again.
I mean, it's urine. Does it matter?
I feel like their urine's probably cleaner though. Like they drink a lot of fluids, so probably they're more hydrated usually.
I'll take that as a good thing that happened then. That it was a child. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't like some creepy old dude just peeing for whatever reason. So
yeah, and it's funny too because like I saw the liquid and thought like it was like air conditioner water because that happens a lot in New York. You get hit by that all the time. It's so disgusting. And then I got up, like I walked up the stairs and I saw the kid peeing and I was like, that's how my day started.
I got hit by spit once.
Oh,
walking down the street and it just was like plop.
Oh, that would bother me way more than pee. Way more.
It's definitely probably more bacteria in it for sure. Yeah.
So yeah.
I was like, what is that? Is that bird poop? What is that? And my buddy's like, I think somebody spit on you.
No, that is, oh my God, that's the worst thing ever. Oh,
It was in financial district too. I'm like, why are there even people up
oh,
there?
it was in New York, of course.
Yeah.
Of course it was here. Of course it was here.
It was yeah, down like I'm like, do people even live down here?
Like 4 people. And then what I love about financial districts is that they have these like luxury apartments, and they are luxury, you know, like for
Yeah.
sure they're beautiful buildings, they're brand new. It's just like we all know that you paid like half price for it because like you're not going to get any sun, you have no view, and it's here, you know.
I mean, it does feel like a whole different when you go down there. It's like a whole different trip.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's way more chill. I mean, they do have like some cool bars and restaurants, but they all like they're all dead because it's basically like they come out after the market closes. On the weekend, there's nobody besides like Stone Street is always pretty busy, which is a fun time. If you've never been to Stone Street, go check it out. Yep. It gets pretty chaotic, but I mean, I don't mind it. Like we'll stay at like Guildhall down there because I think that's the best value in New York. At $15K for you can use the free night certs if they ever actually send them to you from Hyatt there, but yeah. I mean, everything's a subway stop away, so I don't mind. I stay down there quite a bit just because it's easy, but I don't know. Yeah, I definitely like if living down there would be completely different than living like anywhere else in Manhattan.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, like it's Manhattan either way, so like whatever. But you know what it is? It's the Instagram posts. So the funny thing about life is that Instagram makes me dislike so many things that I was indifferent to before.
I will say the only dive bars I've ever found in Manhattan were in the financial district, and they're like.
Well, you've never been to what, like 3 Sheets to the Wind or places like that, like the college bars?
I mean, like Murray Hill area and all that stuff has dive bar, but they're still like at least like decent. This was like I felt like I was like in Omaha or something. Like you walk in and it's this completely weird vibe, not New York City at all.
An actual dive.
Yeah, and the beer was like $3, and I was like, what? What are we doing here? And there was no kitchen. It was like they just put up like this counter off to the side in the middle of the restaurant with a little hood. And I was like, okay, I feel like I'm in a college bar. But I was like, this is awesome. I can get like free drinks going.
And hang out with all the 4 people in there. If there were even that many.
We randomly found it after we hit up Stone Street, and we're just like hopping around like, oh, let's go pop in here and see. I think I might have been like looking on Yelp for dive bars, and this like came up, and I was like, okay, let's go.
I mean, why not? Yeah, especially if you can get drunk there and then like start your night.
Worst mistake I ever made in New York was trying to take the train from Newark. Oh my gosh.
The train from Newark?
Yeah, because we flew into Newark.
Okay.
And I tried to take the train
What's that
in.
process even?
It's a long process. I'm going to tell you, and especially because we were staying at Guildhall. So and I wanted to do it because I wanted to write about it, but the process was so horrible that I never wrote the post. So you take the train from Newark and you go to what's the station? Why am I blanking on it? What's the big station in Penn State? There's a Penn Station in Newark.
Oh, okay.
So there's confusing for anybody that's never been. Like there's 2 Penn stations. One's in Jersey.
Is that right?
Yes, there's a. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure it's Penn Station.
Oh, I've learned something new today for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So you take Newark, New Jersey, Penn Station. Yep. So we got.
All right, that's
so you get to Penn Station. Yeah, you get to Penn Station, and you take the train from the airport or to Penn Station, and then it took like 30 minutes for the train show up because nothing shows up on time.
Yeah.
So we get on that, and then we had to take it to like another stop, and then we get off, and then we had to get on like the New Jersey Transit train because we were going to World Trade Center.
Yep.
Well, World Trade Center stops are closed at that time because they're remodeling it. So they dropped us off in Jersey City, and we had to walk like a half a mile to a ferry.
Yep.
And then we took the ferry over to the island, and then we had to walk like another mile to get to the hotel. So it took like an hour. Yeah. An hour and 15 minutes. It was. I mean,
you're lucky it only took that long. Like you probably.
It was a Saturday. Because it was a Saturday. It went a little bit better. But yeah, it was awful. But one cool thing I did see, like when we took the ferry across, we were on the western coast of Manhattan, and there was like this really cool restaurant, and there was like this tiny marina that had like maybe 20 boats in it. And there was this like cool restaurant with lights and trees and stuff overlooking this tiny marina that I would have never seen. So
that's cool. Yeah,
I definitely want to go back there and one time and just sit out and have drinks and stuff. If I didn't have like 3 suitcases with me lugging around. Yep. I would have sat there, but like September, like a nice cool afternoon where you just get like the sun and stuff, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So I'll have to find that after this. I'll send you it.
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
I have pictures of it somewhere, I'm sure. So I was like, I gotta go back.
If you go back on a nice day, it'll be like,
Packed.
like the entire city of New York. Yeah. It's funny because when there's so many people in that little tiny space, like you think like, oh, it's such a nice day. Let's go to the seaport.
Yeah.
And that's what every other person in the city did that day. It's like Long Island now. Like when I'm like, oh, let's go to the beach. And then I'm like, nope, COVID city. Like,
yeah. Can't do anything. That's why like
Manhattan
would be the worst place to be riding out COVID, I feel like, just because
I don't even know anybody who's still there.
Everybody left. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what CNN did an article where the suburbs of New York are like skyrocketing in housing purchases, and Manhattan's like down like 40% in sales for housing. So, which isn't surprising.
No, like I want to sell now because I feel like
it's big.
Like the houses on my block can't stay on the market.
Yeah.
So like, why don't we sell now so that I can go back to my happy place, which is Brooklyn, and like take advantage. Go back to
Disney where I have no room or yard for my dogs. Let's go.
Well, okay, so I'm hoping that I might be able to like afford a 2-bedroom, so that there's a place for all my stuff. Because it used to be that like we had risers that we would put the bed on, and that's how we like
everything under. Yep. We have risers, yeah, for sure.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, you also have 2 kids. I mean, although I do have 4 pets. Can you imagine? My mom would come over and be like, if you're gonna have dogs, you should probably get a yard. And I was like, she's probably right,
Yeah, it'd be tough, especially like, I mean, 1 dog, that's okay, but like when you're crazy like Bethany and you have 4 dogs or 3 dogs and a cat, it's a bit much in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Oh, it's a lot. Yeah. I mean, we didn't intend to keep the big one. It just happened,
Yeah.
We were fostering him and he was so bad that we had to keep him because nobody would take him. But the little one was like perfectly suited for apartment life.
Yeah.
And we had a balcony that he could pee on. So he was like,
you put like one of those like turf things out there or whatever?
No.
He just peed on the balcony.
This is the same one who tried to poop on the floor before. Yeah. Like
he peed on the balcony and then it would slowly roll off the side and dribble onto the people below his balcony. And they'd be like, what's this stuff on our railing?
It was concrete. There's no way it would have gotten through. And then I would just have to go out there because, like, of course, we didn't have a hose, So I'd have to go out there with like buckets of water.
Yeah, and that all runs down into the people below you.
No, it was like, how do I explain?
Oh, like the whole thing was concrete, like the walls were concrete.
It was hose.
Okay. Yeah. So you just like let evaporation do its work after I
exactly.
pour some water on this.
And then one time, my cat. This is crazy. One time, my cat jumped like onto the balcony. Like the ledge, and I ran out because I saw that she was getting like way too close. I ran out to get her and I scared her and she fell, thank God, onto the balcony right below us.
Yeah, you did worse damage to her than she would have been fine.
I know, but like when you see your cat like 12 stories up, you know, like it I freaked out. So she fell, thank God, and there was a balcony below her. Which is crazy because only like 15 apartments in the whole building had balconies.
Okay.
So we got really lucky there, right?
Yeah.
So then we had to figure out like how we're gonna get her back. So I kept knocking on the guy's door and he wasn't home. He was also such a jerk. He like put cigarettes on my doorstep saying that they were mine. I didn't even smoke. But anyway. So I was knocking on the guy's door to try to like, hey, my cat's on your balcony. Nothing. So the next door neighbors to this guy had shared a balcony with him. And they were like, hey, come over here. You can get her like maybe climb over or see if she'll come to you kind of thing. So I had zero interest in getting her to crawl back up onto a balcony. So I jumped onto the balcony, the ledge. It's like, like this big.
Yeah.
My P2 is screaming at this point. And,
it's just a cat.
And I'm just crawling on the ledge. It was like a good 20-foot crawl to get to my cat.
No.
When I jumped up, I heard the guy go, oh, brave girl. By the way, P2 still can't even talk about it. He can't hear about it. Like the story. Yeah, from seeing me. Meanwhile, in my mind, it wasn't even like I was just like, I gotta go save my baby. You know what I mean? Like nothing. So that, was a fun story. How we get on that? Oh yeah, balconies. Yeah, so
we got so far off of track here.
I know. That's okay because we'll get into credit cards and then we'll call it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a few things that we wanted to talk about First was, why is Barclays so crazy?
I don't know.
Like,
They're so high.
How come you've been getting denied for all these years? And when did it start?
Yeah, because I got the Arrival Plus back when that was a thing. I wonder like why they just nerfed that and never brought it back. But, like 2014, something like that.
Okay.
Probably 15.
Yeah.
I don't know. Back when it was all the rage, you know,
right.
because it had 10%. Back when it had 10% bonus back.
Mm-hmm. Best card ever. I mean, I still have one just because I'm a cancel, you know.
So I got it, and then I downgraded it to some no-fee card that I didn't care about, and it just sat there forever.
I downgrades, okay.
Yeah, so I downgraded it to some. I don't even know what it was, but I never used it. It just sat there for years and years. But I kept trying to get. You know, I had the U.S. Airways card back when it was U.S. Airways, and then it became an AA card, and I closed it. I'm like, oh, I'll get another one. So I've been trying to get an AA card from them for like 4 years, and I get denied like every year I try, and I get denied for like recent account inquiries or whatever. And I know we've had people say and friends say like, you got to send in your social security, like pay stubs, like all this weird stuff for them to approve something.
Friend told us that is like, I figured, okay, Mark's probably doing something that is causing the bank to look at him as a risk, right? Because a lot of us do. But then when she said that, and that was her first ever Barclays card, I was like,
what? It's like Bank of America business card where they want like a deposit, a CD, and oh, you got to put money in your account before we'll approve you. So they're really weird. But you know, the choice card came up for $50K this week, and I was like, okay, and I was like, I'll go for it. You know, I've been kind of interested in choice, so instantly approved, of course. And now I'm like, why didn't I just try the AA card?
You're like, wait a minute, why didn't I actually sign up for a good card?
Why didn't I try for the AA card first?
Or the $60K JetBlue?
No, I can't use JetBlue. There's like no purpose for it. I have to fly to Boston to go anywhere.
But you could also like trade miles and points with friends, like in that scenario.
Yeah. So you're saying you would use the JetBlue points and you'd give me something for it, basically?
Yeah.
That's a big. I mean, remember that the big like match from like Virgin Atlantic to JetBlue and all that stuff?
I mean, that is kind of what solidified me doing this. You know?
Yeah.
It was that.
So I didn't actually do that because I was like, JetBlue is worthless to me, and I wish it wasn't because I've never flown it, but every single flight goes to Boston for me.
Yeah.
So unless I'm flying to Boston, it's pointless. So.
Right. No, I
don't want to fly to Boston to go to Vegas. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Right. Although, like, I just like having JetBlue points because you can use them on anybody in your family, and there's like 10 spots or whatever, or however many spots there are. I don't know. I think 10 spots is British Airways. And so it's just kind of like $60K. That's a lot of points, and even if I only use them once, who cares? You know. That's sort of why I like that one.
I got $50K choice though.
That's right. Then there's also Hawaiian Airlines, which sometimes is like 50 or 60. But anyway, okay. So you got the choice card. Yay. Are you going to start signing up for more Barclays cards? Are you going to try? Or are you just going to?
I feel like I'm going to like they're going to be no. And I've been holding that no fee card forever. Mm-hmm. And I finally closed, or they automatically closed it on me because there was no activity. You know, all these companies, if you haven't had activity for like a year or two, they're like, hey, we're in a pandemic and a recession, so we're just going to shut down accounts. So they shut it down. I was like, all right, whatever. I should have closed it long ago. So I don't know if I got approved because now I have 0 cards with them.
Oh, interesting. So
I don't know if that was. Yeah, so I might try for the AA card in a little bit just to see, but I'm pretty sure I'll get denied.
So if I was doing any kind of experiment with anybody, the last thing I would do is involve AA in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, try a different card. Yeah. Like,
I know, but I can use AA. I can't use JetBlue. Hawaiian's so specific.
I know.
I don't really have. If they had Arrival, I would have gone for that. But they don't really have anything.
Yeah.
That's that great.
It just seems like involving AA in any of your business, especially if it's experimental, is like probably like the easiest way to screw yourself somehow.
Yeah.
You know? And you might never actually get like a good data point because who knows like why it might be screwed up.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I'm thinking with that. But yeah, it's a great bonus. I mean.
Yeah, one purchase or whatever. You can't beat that. Buy some gum, some Rica chew.
And now they need you.
Do they still have like big red at the checkouts? I haven't even noticed. Like, remember when it was like 25 cents for the little pack of like double mint or double? What was that? The gum?
I don't know if they have that.
Big red. Double. What was it? All those commercials, man? They used to be huge.
Juicy fruit.
Juicy fruit. But there was like the double mint.
Like
I think it was double mint.
I think so.
Two super and double mint.
Yeah.
Oh,
The little,
Big
the
Red,
5
Big
stick
Red.
packs.
Yeah,
Yep.
25 cents. I wonder what happened to that. Oh, rest in peace, the 90s. The 90s were the best.
I know. It's like you could go to the corner store and get like a 10-cent chocolate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. After
Right.
school, walk by.
Yeah.
The chocolate.
I was a kid who enjoyed my food. So
Gordo child.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I was always like, well, I have 47 cents. Can I have 5 chocolates? Negotiating.
But I am kind of looking forward to Choice though, because I've been looking for like a third program. I'm not doing Marriott. I can't get any of their bonuses. There's no good way to rack up their points really.
Okay.
Through spend, for me at least. And Hilton and Hyatt, there's always like that third, and I just got the IHG card, so I have a little bit there, but there's like once you burn through those, you're done for a couple years, if forever, because it's Chase 524.
Yeah.
Wyndham nerfed their thing. Wyndham used to be kind of my backup plan, because they had some decent properties at 15K. So Choice is kind of where it's at. And I think it's mainly going to be used like, there's a really cool hotel in Detroit that has Choice. So when I go downtown, I might want to do that.
That's cool.
But mainly like, Western Europe, like Scandinavian countries, there's a lot of good properties for like 10K, like Norway and stuff like that. Copenhagen, all those types of cities have like rooms for like 10 to 15,000. So
that's great. And are they like Cambria? That's the nicer of them, right?
I don't know. I haven't looked at. I don't really care.
I mean, I guess if they look nice, who cares?
Yeah. I mean, I think like Venice has 2 hotels for 10K, which is like unheard of for all the other things. And I think the hotels are decent. Tokyo has them for 8K. So there's value there. I mean, if you're going to the Bahamas, that's been a long time thing with Comfort Suites for 25K a night. And then you get access to the Atlantis without all the problems of the Atlantis. So there's definitely options. It's specific. Bahamas, yeah. True. With kids though, they want to go to the Atlantis. But I know you had been we've been talking and you've been looking at some, like they have a premier section that you can redeem. I think it's like
preferred hotels. Yeah,
they're like partnerships, but they're not technically their hotels.
Yeah, so they're partners. What's interesting is I found Preferred like a few years ago, and I've been a top level elite with them for like 3 years, just because I emailed them, said, hey, I have Hilton Diamond, and every year they re-up it.
Nice.
I've never actually stayed at one. No, but my friend did.
Useless status is unknown.
Yeah, exactly. And she got like I forgot what they gave her, but it was something like she said that her guess was it was worth $25 to $30, because I was like, listen, I'm gonna put my number on your room, and then like make sure you tell me what the amenity is, because you're supposed to get like a room upgrade, an amenity or whatever. I forget what it was. I was like, doing an experiment like I'm always doing.
It's kind of like IHG where they're like, oh, you get 1 minibar item. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Which I'm always like $10 off my bill right there. Wait, what was the other thing we wanted to talk about?
Ultimate reward stuff, right? Oh, cashing out ultimate rewards.
Yeah, so I want to hear how that's going, like, because we haven't talked in a few weeks. So
yeah, which Chase just extended it, or not extended it, but they've come out and publicly said that it's going to be a program that goes on for a while, and it's going to be like rotate. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, do you think they're extending it like indefinitely? You think that's what's coming?
I think it's like the way they made it seem is it's like it's now a part of the program. Which somebody made an interesting point. Like it might be cheaper for them versus travel partners. Some of them like if they're buying Hyatt points at like above 1.5 cents a piece, they might be like, hey, all these people that used to transfer to Hyatt are now cashing out for 1.5. We're saving money. Let's do this. So they're saying that it's going to be rotating. So I'm assuming it's going to be like a freedom type of thing where it'll be like gas one quarter, groceries 1 quarter, Amazon 1 quarter, stuff like that. So I've gotten to the point like, I don't even know if I want to. I should just like keep cashing out. I think I'm at like 270,000 miles or ultimate rewards points I've cashed out. So
you're beating me.
Yeah. So I'm sitting on like still like 125K in my account, and then if I get the Freedom Unlimited, that'll be like another 80K. And originally I was like, all right, I'll start rebuild for travel.
80K. Where are we getting that number from?
20K sign up bonus, and then 5 times on the 12K, so 60K from that. So
okay.
Yeah, so I can.
So you're talking about like totally maxing out the 12K.
Yeah.
All your grocery spend on.
Yeah, which grocery will be fine. I can do that. Yeah. Gift cards.
Right.
So I'll definitely hit that. And then I'm like, that was supposed to be the rebuild, but now I'm like, why? I should just
Mhm.
cash it out and just.
Right.
I've been keeping the money on the sidelines for travel in the future, with good cash rates and stuff
Mhm.
and all that stuff, and then I'll use American Express and the stuff I have in my accounts
Yeah.
for future travel, because who knows when that travel is going to be. So
Yeah. I mean, so like right now, it's hard for me and probably anybody watching this to think about like, well, I want to save these points for X flight on X partner. First of all, we have no idea when this is going to start up again. Number
Yeah.
one. Number two, airlines are retiring planes. So like, you may never get a chance to fly that cabin that you've been thinking about for however long.
exactly, yeah.
Three, like, are you really saving cash, which is essentially what ultimate rewards points are now for travel that you're going to be doing in like 3.5 years? Or are you smart enough that you might be able to like build up your point balance again? Like,
Yeah.
everything's going to change. I am totally with you. The only pause that I have is the fact that Citi has now done away with the ability to,
Through the portal.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it makes like chase points more valuable to me, but like
Yeah.
how much more? I don't know.
Yeah, that's like, it's funny because like Citi thank you points I value so low that as soon as I would get them, I would just book stuff through the portal. I'd be like, hey, those are the first points I'm going to use. Like the points you don't value, you use first. Like
Of course.
if I'm booking a United flight and I have life miles from a cancellation, I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't care if the life miles are more. I'm going to book it with life miles because I want to get rid of those.
Yep.
So yeah, that is a good point on that. Like, does it make you want to hold them a little bit more? Now, I will say there was like a mad rush to cash these out because it's supposed to end at the end of September.
Mhm.
With this being extended, if you're going to hold the reserve card long term, then you don't have to rush to cash them out as much. So that's kind of nice too. But
Yep.
I really wanted to downgrade before the annual fee hit.
Oh, that's okay. So
I upgraded from Freedom. I still
Mhm.
have not paid an annual fee. I got the $300 travel credit towards grocery. I got the $60 whatever credit. It usually takes like 3 months for them to charge an annual fee. So I could downgrade it right now, made $360 plus cashed out all my points.
So what's the math on that? If you downgrade tomorrow, right? And you're
I
only
don't pay anything. I don't pay anything. I don't think
No,
they
I know,
would-
but what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
so we're talking about cashing out theoretically.
Yeah.
How much are you losing even? Not even that much.
Yeah, right now I'm sitting on like 100,000. So 100.
Yeah, although then you totally screw your chances of
You
like,
could just upgrade again down. You can upgrade again down the line.
well, maybe.
I think people have been doing this for a while, like the upgrade downgrade game.
I could see it. It's just, okay, here's what I
It's
think.
shady. It's shady, yes, for sure.
Yeah, I think like Amex is already doing it
Yeah.
with like grocery and all that stuff. Like they're what's it called? Like level 1,
Level 3 data. Yeah.
level 3 data. Okay, so it's like the highest, right? So they basically know what you buy
Yep.
at a lot of stores.
First, yeah.
Chase is going to start doing it too. They're going to start limiting everything. So I agree with you that right now is the time to hitting.
Hit it and quit it.
Yep.
Ride hard, put away wet.
I'm totally with you there. I've been using that so much. Rode hard and put away wet.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's even better now that I know what it means.
Oh my God. Well, and it's like every time now I see a person who fits that description, I'm like,
You nappy, girl. You nappy.
yeah, so I think right now, I think you're totally right. I think right now is the time to like go crazy and do it. However, I would stop there and not play the upgrade downgrade game just because I don't want to like ruin my relationship with Chase.
Yeah.
And
No,
that could be happening.
My original plan was to wait for the annual fee to post, and it'd probably be like a prorated annual fee, pay that,
Yep.
and then wait until the full annual fee hits again whenever the anniversary is, and then downgrade it at that point. So at least I gave them some money or whatever.
Mhm.
They're not like Amex where they'll come after you for downgrading, within a year or whatever. At least yet.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's tempting to just
Yep.
take the money and run. It's really tempting.
It's almost hard to like, so the other thing that plays in my mind is the fact that Citi is like so crappy and they just keep doing things to make everything worse that I'm like, do I really want to like potentially take Chase and like nerf my ability to do things with them when Amex we know is just going to keep getting worse?
Mm-hmm.
And Citi is definitely not ever getting any better. I mean, unless like somebody takes over and
Or when they do, they make it better for like 3 months, and then they're like, "Hey, remember that Prestige that you liked all that stuff? We're gonna take it all."
Never mind. You can't really use the points anymore, but we will give you $100 credit toward a hotel if
On
you
our overpriced portal. Really, you get $50 off.
Yeah, it's $50 off, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I cashed out all of my. What was the card that I have? It's like the Visa Infinite. Everybody got one. The
From where? From who?
RBC.
Oh, City Infinite.
Thank
Crystal
you.
Infinite?
City
Yeah,
National Bank.
that one that gave thousands of dollars.
Yes, the CNB Visa card. That's how I cash out my points. I booked a way overpriced JetBlue flight.
Yeah.
Like I just did this like last week. That's obviously cancelable until October.
And then you use the travel funds?
Yeah, it'll be a travel bank credit. And
Yeah.
I just sent an email, not even an email, a message to CNB saying cancel my account. Because I heard that if you wait until they post the annual fee, it's
They
like
won't refund it.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're shady.
Yeah.
Shady AF.
So I don't mind being shady back, you know?
Yeah.
Like whatever.
They're just like City
yeah,
now. They just nerf everything at once. They're like, we're gonna take it all away. I know we're idiots for giving all this, but we're gonna do it all at once instead of like, let's just get rid of the the AU free stuff, and you would have been fine. But I don't know.
Yep. It doesn't make it's like they want to get out of the credit card game, I think is what happened there.
Yeah.
I think they were like, you know what, we want to be done with this. Like,
Dude,
let's just make sure everyone looks up.
The City Prestige was my favorite card. I like shouted from the rooftops when it came out, like everybody should have this. Like
I know.
You got American. I was flying American, like connections, because I liked it so much.
Yep.
Like 1.6 cents redemption on American, and I get lounge access, and like I get free golf, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna take all of that.
Fine, sorry. Yeah.
We'll give you that fourth night free, even though you never pay cash for anything, but you enjoy that.
Right. Yep. They nerfed that too, though. It was like,
yeah, they did.
It was like such a good benefit. I used to read about it all the time on Frequent Miler and like how to stack it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. That was like right when I really got like deep into it. And like you could call and have the concierge call Hyatt and they would figure out how to like match the prices. And they
Man, I
don't like that anymore.
I told Ryan, like, cause he was a road warrior. He was staying like 4 nights a week. I'm like, dude, get this card. Like you will get paid. Because think of how many road warriors
charges on his,
yeah. Because if your company allows you to put your charges on your account, you do 4 night stays, you're basically getting paid because they don't see that you got that credit back.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So
amazing.
I can see people. There's so many people that are probably making tens of thousands of dollars off of that perk.
So much, yep. And I mean, of course, they're not talking about it.
That was a big thing. Like I was like, it's crazy that your company lets you book everything on your cards because they're missing out so much.
People, yeah.
Yeah, like, and he's like, nobody would work there. Like everybody's into miles and points, and it's legit. It's like a perk of the job. Like if you're gonna send me out there 3 out of 4 weeks, like I'm gonna quit if you take this away. This is like a 10% bonus on whatever I make.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people that had like 3 million Delta Sky miles and stuff, like, and they didn't pay for any of it.
Yep. Yeah, that's
crazy.
Amazing. I mean, at least the company gets like from Sky bonus, but that's probably about it, you know.
If they even do that, so many people probably don't do it.
Right. If they know about that, they probably know about all those free miles.
Yeah.
All right. So I know that you have to get back to your family because we did late tonight. Anything you want to say before we go?
Nope. I missed everybody. I missed you, Bethany.
I missed
you.
It
was a long month. I think it was a month, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that.
It did feel like a really long time. Yeah. Like 2 Fridays ago, I was like, oh, I haven't seen Mark in a while. I love you guys so much. And thank you so much for always watching and
letting us ramble with drinks.
Yeah. And I still freaking need to know what the giveaway is going to be. So like, really just let me know, you know?
Let us know.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you. And bye.
See you in a couple weeks.
Yeah.